Hey guys, and welcome to the Mr. Alternative Crypto Network. Today is the 22nd of June, 2022. I thought I'd give you a bit of an update on what's going on in the current markets, what's likely to happen over the next few days, weeks and months, what I'm currently doing and what I'm planning to do. There's some exciting things I want to announce to everyone that, I wouldn't mind everyone getting involved in if they can. I wanted to share a bit of a YouTube clip with you, and it will just remind people of what's likely to happen again based on past history. This video goes back to 2017. I won't go into too much detail. You can watch it. It'll only go for a couple of minutes. But this is exactly what is going to happen again, and you don't want to be one of those fools that miss out on an opportunity. Basically, there's a lot of people out there that still think, crypto's what is crypto? Is it a scam? But rest assured, there are reasons why it's not. Quite frankly, why would banking systems be investing into it? Local councils, state governments, you're talking literally governments worldwide. Companies, people, CEOs from major companies are getting paid in crypto. And you've got to start asking yourself, blockchain technology is being adopted everywhere. Is this just a fad? Well, remember when the internet came out and people were like, oh, that won't work. Or when the mobile phone came out, well, it's technology. You have to embrace technology, and the banking system as we know it is broken. That's a fact. And this is the new way forward. Now, you can either decide to ignore it and wait. I mean, when was the last time you went to the bank? People don't go to the bank anymore. You try and withdraw money out of the bank and they have limits. Be your own bank. This is what crypto gives you the opportunity for. So I want you to just watch this video. It is absolutely hilarious. And you can make it the decision yourself.
Allí está, jefe. Ya, pues acuéstate que mañana a las 8 te llamo para que vaya a recoger la paellera. Y me acuesto en ya para abrir el restaurante que era el arroz. Y me llama el cocinero. Risita, ¿qué? Ve por la paellera. Venga, que a las 2 de la tarde ya están aquí. Miren, bañador. En las chanclas. Todo despeinado porque no me dio tiempo nada ponerme las chanclas y el bañador. Voy a la playa, había subido la marea. Jesús. Jesús. Había subido la marea y encontré una paella. Y la encontré porque estaba la paellera agarrada. Metí entre las piedras de Chipiona, del faro. Y cuando entro en el restaurante me ve el cocinero con una paellera y a ver la vez de paellera. ¡Asómate, mira dónde llega el agua! Llegaba el agua hasta el restaurante. Había subido la marea. Jesús. ¡Ay, qué hacemos ahora! Con los dos sacos de arroz.
I'll stop it there, guys. It's absolutely hilarious. But look, I'll make the point that I don't know if you saw towards the end there that he was referring to the price of Bitcoin at $12,000. Now, I'll bring you to this page here. Here's a chart of Bitcoin going back to when he was talking about, this is just before 2018, 2017, it's exactly when he was talking about it in the video. So you'll see back here, when he was talking, Bitcoin price was 3,149. This is when he's telling his friends about Bitcoin and getting into it. And as he said, over the next 6 months, look at this. It got to 3,000 or so dollars, got up to just under 20,000. So it's not a 10x, but it's a 6 or a 7x from where it was. And this is what can happen. Now, and then what it ended up happening, it went from 20,000 and it went all the way back to its original price. Now, remember that because I'll get to that later. So originally, 3,150 to just under 20, 19,981, and back, where are we? 3,150. It's gone pretty much back to where it was. From 3,150, this is July 2019, to 13,929, got back to, it retraced about 50% of its value. But look at what happens here. This is all in the period from July 2019 to November 2000 and, well, let's say October 2020. So you're looking at what? It's not quite, it's a bit over 15 months or so of doing nothing. So remember that, it did nothing for about 15 months. It went down a little and sideways and up, but in general, nothing. But from that point, 1st of October, 10,714, look at what happened. Went up. And, you know, people were saying, oh, look, it won't go up. It'll continue to go down. I'll wait for the dip. When it gets to 13,000, people continue to say it. They don't buy in. They're thinking it's going to dip again. Then it goes to 19,981. Same thing. It's going to crash. It went on a mega bull run all the way up here to 61,000. So from 10,000 to 61. Yeah, at some point it's going to retrace. And people say, oh, the market crashes 85%, blah, blah, blah. Yes, it does. But bear in mind, it's gone from 10,000 here to 61. It actually got all the way up here to 65. It then retraced back to 28. Now people can say, oh, it's crashed from 65 to 28. Yeah, it's gone more than half. It's got retraced more than 50, 60%. But this is what we're looking at. 1st of October, 2020, and where it retraced here is 1st of July. It's 8 months. And in 8 months, it's gone through a boom and retraced, and it's still 29,000. So people have still nearly tripled their money. Then from there, it goes from 29,000, bam, all the way up to 69,151. And right now, we have had the biggest decline that Bitcoin has ever gone through. Now, people can argue that percentage-wise, there has been a bigger dip from over here, but you've got to remember, crypto was not mainstream then. You know, you had Bitcoin and you had a number of small coins, but the overall market was tiny. Now you're talking $1 trillion market. So it is a lot more significant now. So not only Bitcoin has not retraced as much as some of the others. So the point is, it's gone from 68 or 69,000. The other day it dipped down to 17,522. And you can see this line here. It is actually below the all-time high from 2018. There. Right now, it's recovering a bit. It's just above what it was back then. And you've got to ask yourself, Are you going to wait for the possibility of this going down to, say, here, 13, 14,000? Yeah, it could possibly get there. But the smarter person would say, look, I've got some money to deploy. I've been sitting on the sidelines. If you haven't got in yet, now would be the time to start looking to DCA in. So, you know, let's hypothetically say you had $1,000. You might look at, okay, right now, I don't know now if it's going to go down or up. It's probably more than likely going to go up, but even if it goes down, look at how far it's come down so much already. You're really taking the risk of missing out entirely. So why don't you put in possibly a quarter of what your funds are? So let's say at $1,000, put $250 in now, and let's wait a week or wait for a dip to then buy in again. So what a lot of people are having a strategy now of going in now, say deploying a quarter of your funds that you have available. If it got down to, say, this region here, so currently it's 20, let's say it went down 10% and it went back down to 18, deploying another 25%. Let's say it got down to 16, deploy another 25%. And the worst case scenario, it came down to this $13,000, $14,000 region, topping it up. And when I say dollar cost averaging, your average price between 14 and 20 then becomes, I don't know, say around $17,000. So you've gone all in with your money on $17,000, and what's your risk reward there? There is a lot of reward. Typically, when the next bull run happens, I mean, this is the first bull run, went up to just under 20,000. And look, the next bull run went up to 68. So at least 3 to 4 times what the previous bull run was. I mean, no one has a crystal ball to know exactly what price it will go to. What's 3 times 70? That's 210,000. Even if it doesn't get to 210,000, let's say it just went to just under 100,000. Your average cost to buy was 17. So you're not buying in at the high price of 67 or 68. You've actually just bought in at 17. If it goes to 100, you've more than 5 times your earnings. So that's the strategy that I'd be sort of looking at. So what am I doing? I've got a bit of the idea that I have right now is not just to go in on Bitcoin, to pick obviously I would say whatever money you've got, let's say you went to work and you had, let's say you were clearing $1,000. Let's just a hypothetical. Let's say you're clearing $1,000 a week and you had $200 spare cash. Of that 200, I would be putting 50% of that, $100, and split it evenly, 50-50, with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Ethereum, look at this for a chart. It has been smashed. Ethereum, think of Ethereum as your highway and all these small cryptos being on the highway. Or the internet. Think of it as the internet, and all the websites are on the internet. Everyone needs Ethereum. There's certain chains. You've got Ethereum. You've got Solanas, Cardanos. They're their own networks. But Ethereum is the largest of all of them. Bitcoin is your store of value, and Ethereum is certainly the technology that all these platforms use. So there is always going to be a need for Ethereum. And, you know, it got up to $4,800, $4,853. That was 29th of November. And it's gone all the way down. The other day, it went all the way down to 886, and it's pretty quickly recovered to 1,085. Actually, a bit more, 1,104. That's a pretty quick, it's already 250 It's risen $250 on 800 something. I don't know what the percentage of that is, but it's 25 to 30% in a week. Now, if we go, oh, I'll wait for it to go back down. Well, yeah, you can. But look, guys, DCA in on it. Like, you're buying down here when it was up here. Now, you only need to buy in here and for it to get just back up to its all-time high, and you've nearly 5 times your money. Now, if you want to play it safe, that's your safe bet, your Bitcoins and your Ethereums. Then the rest of your 50%, be looking at this play, XRP. XRP, the price has come down a lot over the last few years because it's been going through an SEC case, the Securities Commission, and it does appear that XRP are going to win. And because the price has been so subdued over the last few years, wow, the gains that can happen here are huge. So just based on, forget about the markets, just based on them winning this court case, the price can easily skyrocket a lot higher. If I go right back to here, yeah, you're looking at what, $2 before this SEC case, and it's right the way down to 32 cents. Once again, guys, like, you know, how long do you want to wait? So that's definitely one that I'd be looking at. I would also be looking at, where are we? I would be looking at probably Solana. Yeah, I'd be looking at Solana, guys. So Solana in the past week, I'll just actually go back here. You'll see Solana has risen here 22% in the last week. Bitcoin's still negative 5.7% in the last week. Remember, it went down to 17.5. I think it was about 22,000 before it dipped quite large. But this is an interesting chart I want you to have a look at. Solana, so Solana, a lot of the metaverses that you're hearing are based on the Solana network. They've got very low fees involved. So NFTs is digital artwork that you see. Their fees are really low. And so there's a huge case for Solana. It has the biggest network adoption out of all the main layer ones. But basically in here, you'll see that today alone, it's only up 1%. But if I go here, 7 days, and then let's go to a month. It's not showing me on there, but basically I'll bring it up on my phone. And there's a chart that will show you how much it's actually gone up against Bitcoin. I don't think it's on the TradingView website. No. Yeah, so the other thing to look at here, guys, is this has a fully diluted market cap here. Look at you're not talking, you know, people say, oh, is it a scam? Look at the amount of money that Solana is worth. It's staggering. But what I wanted to bring to your attention is not just about Bitcoin and Ethereum. There are other alternatives to look at. So Solana, yes, it's up today, and it's up over the last 7 days. But this will come up on my phone. Over the last 7 days, I don't know if you probably can't see this, but there's an amount just under the 35.16 there that shows the Solana percentage going up against Bitcoin. Now, that amount, it's actually gone up 29.36% against Bitcoin. In other words, in the last week, if you put $1,000 in on Bitcoin and on Solana, let's say you picked Solana, you would be better off 29.36% than if you did on Bitcoin. And Bitcoin's still gone up, but it just makes the point that there are cryptos out there right now that are bucking the trend. And those are the ones to look at, because what's going on in the background? As I said, this network adoption is continuing to happen. So all these metaverses are happening, all these NFTs are happening. And what network are they using? They're using Solana. So they're having record adoption, prices come down, and there's a disconnect there. So that's why these particular ones are starting to pick up really quickly. Now, typically what you would find in a bull market is that Bitcoin will go up first and the other ones will follow a little later. But what you're actually finding, yeah, Bitcoin's starting to pick up, but some of these other ones are picking up a lot quicker. Now, that just basically tells me that in the bear market, they've been hit a lot further. And people are looking at safety nets, but they're looking at particular safety nets. So, you know, when I say Bitcoin and Ethereum are your safety nets. Out of the next ones, which are the safety nets? You're looking at Cardano, XRP, Solana. I wouldn't be looking at Dogecoin. Dogecoin is the Elon Musk coin that they always mention, but I wouldn't even look into that. Avalanche. I wouldn't be looking at Litecoin, but you'll see there are some that are bucking the trend. Look at this Uniswap. Uniswap is a platform where you can swap your coins in an instant. You might have Ethereum and want to swap it into a different coin, and that's the platform you go on to do it for very, very low fees. So if you're in on the right narrative, you can really, really make some quick gains. But what I'm planning to do over the next few days is launch a program, and I don't know what it's going to be called yet, but how you can turn, and no one knows if you can turn, but how we can turn $1,000 into 10,000. So I'm talking to people every day, and if you haven't done so already, guys, hit the subscribe button, please. You'll get the updates constantly. Click the bell notification, and every time I'm live, you'll get that notification. I don't get money from this. I just want to keep people updated constantly on the crypto world as we know it. But what I would say is I'm talking to these people every day. I do the one-on-one sessions. Guys, if you want to book a one-on-one session, hit me up. Now's the time to do it, because obviously we're at an all-time low. If you don't know anything about it, you need to know which apps to download, how you transfer your money from your bank account into the apps, how you buy something, how you transfer your money out of the apps back into your bank account. It can all get really confusing. If you don't have someone explaining it to you, you can really make a bad decision, or you could potentially lose your money. So hit me up if you want a one-on-one session. I'll leave the links in the show notes, or you can contact me on Facebook or Twitter. But after talking to a lot of people, everyone has different budgets. You know, some people have $50,000 budget, some people have 10,000. Some people are just getting started, they're really nervous, and the consensus is, how about $1,000? Now, $1,000 is, yes, it's a lot, but it's also an amount that people are willing to take a risk on. And when I say risk, this $1,000 is a non-risky play, but we're going to be doing various things to make money to then hodl. So buy coins that you're not going to sell, you're going to hold. So the whole game of this will be, let's turn $1,000 into 10,000. I'll be sharing my screen on what I'm buying and how you can turn your $1,000 into $10,000. So guys, if you're interested in this, hit me up, let me know. There won't be any fees involved, but I do ask, let's do a one-on-one, and I want you to be using the same platforms that I am. So when I say, hey guys, I'm doing this. You can log in and you're doing exactly the same thing. But guys, that's about it for today. I'll give you a quick brief overview of the market. Bitcoin's currently at 20,470. I think yesterday when I did my call, it was about 21,000. It's in this range of about 2,500 to 21,500. And yeah, I think it will probably go sideways for a little until, you know, there's some better data going out. And what's happening at the moment, crypto took a big dive as the stock market was taking a dive. But what's actually ended up happening is a bit of a disconnect right now. Crypto is starting to go up and the stock market's still taking a hit. So what that tells me is people are starting to realize, hey, stock market's got a hell of a lot further to continue to go down. And crypto's already hit this massive fall. You know, you're talking 85%. What's the better case scenario? Where should I put my money? Do I put it in stocks where it could most probably still continue to go down? Or do I go into crypto now after it's taken such a large hit, because my opportunities are a lot better? And that's exactly what's happening right now. So Bitcoin, yeah, it's in that range. Ethereum has certainly, it seems to be recovered a little to 1,100. Be interesting to see what happens with Ethereum over the next week or so. As the crypto market was crashing, you'll find people move their money out of the coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all your smaller, lower cap coins into stable coins, so US dollar coins. So you'll see that's pegged to the US dollar. There's currently $55 billion locked up in the US dollar coin. So when I say locked up, people are holding the US dollar coin and they stake it and earn interest. So that's another thing. This is what I'm saying about the one-on-one session. It's education, knowing that if you have your money on one of these platforms, you can actually have, let's say you had $10,000 and be earning interest on that instead of in the bank. The bank, what are you earning on the bank? What, not even 1%? What's the point? And that's a safe bet because it's pegged to the US dollar. Cardano, yeah, look, they're all sort of holding up a little bit. Solana definitely is defying the markets. Avalanche, look, I can go over and over and over. There's a good mix of red and green there. So the bit of the narrative, Elrond, I'll go into that at another stage, but Elrond's an interesting one. The code for it is eGold, but basically the last bear market, so a couple of years ago, Elrond was one of the best performers. Now we've just gone through a bear market and it's interesting to see that it's doing exactly the same thing. So this is one to keep an eye on, because if we do continue on this lull of doing nothing, and there are narratives out there that will continue to perform, this has done it previously and it seems to be doing this exact same thing. That's today. Over the last week, it's up 29% over the last week. I wouldn't mind keeping an eye on this for another week or so to see if this continues, because if it does, that might be a play. Might be a really, really good play. But guys, as I said, in the show notes, hit me up for a one-on-one session. I'm going to be starting this, turning $1,000 into 10,000. Let me know if you're interested. And I will see you tomorrow for tomorrow's show.